is to clarify the meaning of international competitiveness at the country levels within in the context of border. This is that countries like companies competing in international markets for their fair share of the world markets.
The absolute advantage and the comparative advantage are the basis of international trade. Trade fairs is when a country exports a product that is totally efficient and have a total advantage. The second is when a country exports a product that has a lower opportunity cost and generate exchange.
The first attempt to explain why countries engage freely in international trade has its origin in 1876 with Adam Smith's theory of an absolute advantage. According to this theory, a country can enhance its prosperity as it specializes in producing goods and services, in which it has an absolute cost advantage over other countries and imports those goods and services in which it has an absolute cost disadvantage.
Economic and political approach influence in trade. In 1970, an approach was born in which countries' advantage was giving economies of scale. This was made possible by product differentiation, monopolistic competition, oligopolistic competition, and intervention government.
The new trade theory is a set of economic models. An international trade developed between the late 1970s and early 1980s, focusing on the road and increasing returns to scale and network.
Trade theories define production factors such as labor, capital, and land. Porter divides them into human resource, knowledge, structure, and capital.
The traditional trade theories define factor conditions as land, labor, and capital, including human capital, distinguishes between the following categories: human resources, physical resources, knowledge resources, capital resources, and infrastructure. Factor conditions are further subdivided into basic and advanced factors that can be in the general or specialized. Advanced factors are created and upgraded through investment and innovation. The specialized factors which recording to further for the analysis for the sustainable comparative advantage of a country. The standard trade theories also recognize the theory of many different resources explanations of comparative advantage. The standard trade theories also recognize that there are many different resource explanations of comparative advantage.
The competitive advantage of companies is different from the competitive advantage of countries and therefore doesn't impact on the competitiveness of the countries and their wealth.
A fifth determinant of national comparative advantage, according to Porter, is from strategy, structure, and rivalry. The main emphasis here is that the strategies and structures of enterprises depend heavily on the national environment. There are the systematic differences in the business sectors in different countries that determine the way in which firms compete in each country and ultimately their comparative advantage. Porter identifies rivalry as the most critical driver of competitive advantage and of national enterprises. This is in sharp contrast to the general understanding in trade theory that trade is a positive sum game of respect on the nature of the sources from which such games from trade of derive. Criticism of the diamond theory as an interactive system comes from two perspectives: from within the management school and from the economic school. Is not applicable to most of the world's smallest nations and ignores the role of multinational organizations and influencing the comparative success of nations. Porter demonstrates that competitiveness depends on both domestic and foreign diamonds, and that the management of domestic enterprises should understand that exploit both diamonds if they wish to become or remain globally competitive. The double diamond concept has to generalize double diamond and multiple diamond approaches explain the international comparative advantage or small others and trustedly allies countries and the influence of multinational activities. On national diamonds created as the firms, the management skill does advantage for their central uses. The countries like firms are somehow in competition with one another. The diamond is so general that it tries to explain all the aspects of trade and competition, but ends up explaining nothing.
I'm talking about this does subnational region matter. The main ideas are 1. Foreign direct investment that related to positional factors, cultural tests, and government policies. 2. Recent studies say that country-specific factors show variation and the performance of each company. 3. Subnational regions have provided different economic activities of company as well explaining the way in which geographical concentration influences about industrial activities. Within the regional institutes, opportunities for foreign are created and variation between activities and emerging. Normally, government implement policies to attract foreign investment, reduce taxes, as well as tariff. However, political institutions vary depending on the region they're in.
In those country matter paper, the main idea is how the country where a foreign affiliate arrives can affect the development of this one. For this, the paper mentioned 3 kind of ways to classify this development. Those are a parent firm effect versus country effect, industry effect versus country effect, and finally, a national institution versus country effect. The first one talks about a specific advantage of parent company that comes from unique resources of a company that create value. This is parent firm effect, and the specific location advantage that comes from differences in factor cost between countries, like capital, labor, and land that help company investment to be advantageous there. This is country effect. The second one, the effect of industry on performance of foreign affiliates is necessarily linked to the country because countries differ in availability of production cost, which influences relative production cost among industries within the country. Finally, in the third one, institutions are defined as the rules of the game in a society or country, including formal rules like contracts and property rights, and informal rules like codes of conduct or rules of behavior. The effects of institutions on the performance of companies vary from one country to another country because the institutions develop in agreements to the host country atmosphere. About how those items are related with international trade environment, I think that they are linked by the way that They try to explain how a firm can be productive or not in a host country, taking into account different resources and opportunities that each country can offer to them, depending on their capacity, industry, and adaptability to changing environment. This helping them to take good decisions and be more competitive, building at the same time good relationships between countries that fortify economy and markets.